Oh, now it's setting up. God damn it. You could you could do dramatic turnaround intro, Jeremy.
Hey, I'm seeing live on Facebook, which I think means we may well be live on Facebook. I'm Bill DeYoung. I think it's happening, Jeremy. Come on, your big intro is coming. Hang on a second. I'm Bill DeYoung. This is the Catalyst Sessions. And as far as I can tell, we're live coming to you from cyberspace. And tonight, let me just introduce you to Jeremy Douglas. He's in the Apollo moon capsule, apparently. And yes. Hey, why don't you play something for us, Mr. Douglas? Did I call you Davis Douglas?
What do you want to hear?
Oliver Wendell Douglas. Say what?
What do you want to hear?
How about Happy Days Are Here Again? You know, something cheery.
I'm not feeling that one.
Clown Time Is Over by Elvis Costello. You know.
Man, you're pulling out. Oh, speaking of Elvis Costello, you know, Hal Willner died today.
I did see that, yes.
And my introduction to Elvis Costello was a Hal Willner record called Weird Nightmare, which is a tribute to Mingus.
Oh, yeah. See, I knew him from Stay Awake, the Disney tribute. You know, we aren't live, though, Jeremy. Maybe you'd like to play something for the folks at home.
I don't know any. How about, I don't know. Let me just play a little bit. Can you see everything okay?
Yeah, looks good. Play Misty for me. Very sweet. Bartender, I'd like another martini, please, and tip this man a 5 spot. This is Jeremy Douglas joining us tonight on the Catalyst Sessions. Hello. And he's in his cool little Batcave looking space age thing there. And
yeah, let me turn that screen off. Hey, that's better.
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing tonight?
I'm okay, I guess. Yeah.
How's isolation treating you? I mean, all things considered.
I miss all my friends. I think my feelings about it are probably in line with everybody else's. I miss being with my friends. I miss the communal spirit work. But I'm fortunate to have my family here and everybody in relatively good health, and we have all that we need, and I feel like we're lucky.
I understand that.
On the fence. Yeah, on the fence. On one hand, I'm happy that we're all here. On the other hand, I wish that I don't know. I keep thinking about like things going back to normal, and I'm not sure that normal was that great. I kind of am hopeful, more hopeful now looking forward than I was 6 months ago, which is a strange place to be in the middle of a pandemic, being more hopeful about the future than before the pandemic.
Isn't it conceivable that we have perhaps some of us reached a point now where when this started and we were bemoaning what we'd lost, that now, we're grateful for what we have and thinking about what the future holds, that we will come out of this. Because you and I spoke when you had lost some gigs and some stuff had kind of fallen apart like it has for a lot of people. And
yeah,
it wasn't great, but can you see a light at the end of the tunnel? I mean, are you able to, we don't know when it's going to be, but I mean, do you feel slightly more optimistic now maybe than you did a couple of weeks ago?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I think I was just in full on trauma, and not professionally. Like I didn't spend a day stressing about losing work. I was, financially that was an issue, but I think my immediate concerns were the safety of all the people that I love, and thinking just about the state of the world. I think most of my trauma was focusing on just what's going to happen to everybody. Yeah. And so I didn't more loss of the work so much, because I will always find a creative outlet. I'm not worried about that. But I was traumatized, specifically, stuff with my wife, what she's been going through with breast cancer, and the intense stress over, watching the numbers of infected people rise in Pinellas County and weighing that against her impending hospital, surgery dates. And, that was going up to that moment, that was the 26th. That was probably the most stressful time of my life. Now that 26 is past, I feel pretty hopeful about everything.
Well, let's pause there. Rebecca Zapen Douglas is your wife. How's Rebecca doing?
I think, I think she's, I can't really speak for her. I think she's doing okay, as well as somebody who can. I mean, honestly, she amazes me. I'm in awe of her. She's facing cancer and a pandemic at the same time. She's not to be fucked with, is what I say. So
that works. That works.
I'm awe of what she's how she's handling herself. She's amazing. So I can't say that she's doing okay, but I can say that I'm not as worried about her as I thought I was going to have to be. I good about where we're going to go. I feel like she's in the right hands with the doctors, and my only concern is that the doctors stay healthy for the next year while she does her follow-ups.
Can you imagine what your life, much less your life in this kind of weird forced isolation, would be like without music? I know for so many people, including me on a different level, I couldn't imagine like just sitting in a box, without music, which helps you go to other places in your mind.
Yeah, I'm not able to think. I guess I can remember, because I came to music pretty late. I started playing music when I was 15. So I can remember a time before there was music as a creative outlet, but there was always a creative outlet. Even before it was writing or it was drawing, or it was, up until I was 15, I was trying on every hat I could find to figure out what I was, how I was going to express myself. And it took a lot of different forms. It's just that I don't know why I settled on music. If it wasn't music, it would have been something else. But no, I can't. I mean, when I can imagine like my life without music, I can't imagine my life without a creative output.
Yeah. What drew you to the piano? I've always wondered that. I mean, most kids would have just picked up a guitar. I know a couple of piano playing guys that I knew as kids, but for the most part, we were all guitar players or drummers. Why the piano?
The school that I went to in the, what was that, the 6th grade, they had a piano in that school, and it was often unattended. And so in between classes, or in classes, or it was a terribly small school, but in between classes, and in any downtime, I'd sneak in for the piano was, and it was just sort of like a puzzle. I didn't start with lessons or anything. I just started by, that's not to say I never took lessons. I took lessons when I was 8 or 9, but I got bored of it and I quit.
Yeah.
And then in the 6th grade, I found that piano in the school, and I remembered where middle C was, and I just kind of reverse engineered it the best I could.
You have that kind of brain. I can tell by all the Star Wars and Star Trek characters that you have that kind of brain.
Yeah. There's Han Solo.
Yeah, the Harrison Ford twins.
Indiana Jones, and they're like pals.
Yeah. So, after a certain point in your life, was it always going to be music for you? You abandoned your dream of being an aerospace engineer or something and said, "Yeah, musician."
I don't know that I ever I don't know if it was until my 30s that I ever really went after music. I think it was always sort of like, well, I'm good at music, I might as well do that. There's some money there, I can go get a job. And it was sort of like my jobs were playing in cover bands and stuff like that. To me, that was always the easy way out. I never really worked hard at it. It wasn't until I hit my 30s and I got married and I had a family. I'm like, oh crap, music. All right, let's make this for real now. Because that's my only skill set. It seems I put all my eggs in that basket, and now it has to make sense.
Tell me about the Florida Bee Orchestra, which is, I think that among the many thousands of people who are tuning in right now, so many of them are fans of the Bee Orchestra and what you do. Can we talk about the genesis of that? And it's a great story. You've told me before why you thought this will work and what the idea was exactly.
It's like a slow creep from, going from always being a sideman, hire other people's projects, and never really occurred to me, to focus on my own thing. I was always just busy working. But when I met Rebecca, and she became my wife, and she came to me one night, she was like, "Hey, I want to do a Wizard of Oz show. I want to sing Dorothy songs, and I want it to be jazz. Can you make that happen for me?" And I was like, okay, let me give it some thought. And so I spent a long time writing charts and arranging those songs from Wizard of Oz as sort of jazz tunes. And we played that show at the Hideaway. I don't remember, 5 or 6 years ago, maybe more. I don't know. And it was so much fun. And I walked away from that show for the first time with a sort of ownership over something, And I was proud. It was, and you know, that's when the light bulbs, I kept wanting to do that. And so we revised that show and added Mary Poppins to it and did it at the Palladium. And that's how I met Paul. And then at that moment, you know, suddenly all these ideas of putting a band together and arranging parts and giving parts to everybody and having everybody play a show became a reality. It was real, and I still had a lot to learn, but I wanted to keep doing that. And one day I was driving to play a wedding gig in Naples, and I was listening to Bjork on the way, and I've been a fan of Bjork for many, many years. And I've always imagined, like when I listen to music that really inspires me, I've always imagined myself as part of that music, as a player. Not, you know, I don't ever would never imagine myself as, say, Bjork, but like, what if I was, I picture a sense of ownership over that music. How can I own that music a little bit? And that's a way for it to feel real to me. I can become part of it. So I've always imagined playing that music with the artists. And then it occurred to me on that drive that I could very easily just put together a band of all of my friends. So I know so many amazing musicians and brilliant artists in this town on every instrument. And so I just started making phone calls and asked them if they were interested in playing a show where we did all Bjork for a small ensemble of acoustic instruments, and it would be an experiment and probably nobody would get paid. And they all said, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. And right. That was the greatest gift. It was such a lovely gift to really say yes to that. So I set about arranging Bjork stuff for acoustic, and I was terrible at it. I knew nothing. I had charts that were embarrassing for me to think about now. But I got better. I learned, and all my friends who are much smarter than I am, you know, helped me, gave me pointers, and the band grew, and we gathered more people and did more shows and covered more artists, and then it's turned less into like my band and more into a collection of people who all contribute. So, you know, I do my best guess at what I think the horns should sound like, and I send that to my friend David Gambino, who's a horn player and a great horn arranger, and he takes my best guess and he makes sense out of it. And I do the same with Tom Kersey on cello. Send him my string parts, and he makes it make sense to string players. Wow. So everybody's contribution is vital. You know, Colleen Cherry this time, even though the show got canceled, you know, Colleen jumped and became rehearsal scheduler, and sort of like this administrative back end of the orchestra evolved organically out of the people that are in it, that are all just really artists who I absolutely trust to run it, so I don't have to.
Well, the world knows that the Buffy Fest for April obviously was put off. Do you think that it will return when the world comes around again?
I imagine Buffy Fest, things that I do when we're all able to do things.
Yeah.
You know, whoever, well, I don't know, you know, we're all taking our best guesses about when that's going to be. But at this point, I'm just sort of like, hey, whenever they give the clear for us to be in large groups again, let's book that show.
Yeah. And you've got still the other, you know, Footloose. You were working, we know this from American Stage, the other projects that are kind of on hold. Stephanie told us last night that we're going to do this in, you know, probably October. And, you know,
I'm
God
every
willing.
project that I was a part of when this came down on everybody, I'm 100% ready to jump as soon as it gets back in. I'm, you know, I have zero prospects. I have no job. I have nothing pressing, nowhere to be forever.
Well, it's always really cheery to talk to you.
I think that there's a wedding that I'm scheduled to play next year sometime. Other than that, my calendar's wide open.
Hey, you know what? I mean, we're all going to come out on the other side of this smarter and better and still making beautiful music.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I have this theory that for every one artist that's going into quarantine, 3 artists are going to come out. And what's more, the artists that are going into quarantine are going to come out with new skills. We're going to, you know, my hopeful vision of the end of this is a rebirth of arts communities all over the world, where artists emerge from these cocoons with all new skill. Artists come back out into the world with new skills, new forms of expression. We're all in little cocoons, you know. We're all caterpillars.
Before we say goodnight, I'm going to say my little bit, and then I want to let you close tonight's show. Again, I feel weird calling this a show, but you know, what are you going to do? I just want to thank everybody for joining us here, and please tell your friends not only about the Catalyst session, which is every weeknight at 7 right here on Facebook Live, but also check out stpcatalyst.com. With some really good stuff there. It's absolutely free. We're all new news and arts and all kinds of stuff every single day. Tomorrow, our guest will be Mark Sforzini from the St. Petersburg Opera Company. I'm Bill DeYoung, and again, thank you for joining us. Jeremy, you want to take us out, man? You got another tune?
I do. I need to go get my wife because she wants to sing a song. But before, I kind of just want to turn the tables on you just a little bit. You're doing an amazing job here.
Oh,
Bill DeYoung. No, you know, we're all separate. We can't be in the same group, and you're taking on this role as sort of like an artistic community ringleader, keeping us connected with each other. How does that feel for you to be this sort of Edward R. Murrow of the Tampa Bay arts scene?
As a journalist, I mean, all I can say is that, you know, when I take the role of an arts journalist, I feel responsible to make it as complete as I can. That's the best I can say. And I mean, I'm privileged to be around such an inspiring community of artists and musicians.
Well, we're all.
I'm just a peripheral person, but thank you for saying that.
I tend to not speak for other people, but I feel like I can speak for everybody when we're all really, you know, we're all really grateful that we have you in this town.
Back at you, my friend. So great. Where's Rebecca? Let's do a tune.
I might have to step out of the room. Do you want to just like wax for a little bit, and
I'll sit here and riff, right? Okay.
Yeah, just riff. Do your best type 5. I'll be right back.
Well, what I could do is say Abe Lincoln likes this show with Jeremy tonight. Let me tell you about the St. Pete Catalyst if you're still with us. It is community news and business news from the best business writer around here, Margie Manning, and civic news and Joe Hamilton, and it's fabulous, and it's stpcatalyst.com. And at this point, I've been doing this long enough. Back at you, Mr. and Mrs. Douglas. Take us out.
And then we'll scoot you back.
Hi.
We're trying to figure out how to fit this small.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
What if we get a smaller chair?
You're fine. You can keep scooting back, and then keep going.
Oh, okay. Well,
hey, great.
Hi.
Hi. Good to see you.
You too.
This is Rebecca, my wife. Everybody. How many people are watching? By the way.
Oh, at least 10,000.
Man, 10,000.
Hamina.
Really?
No.
We think it's between 6 and 9 people, but yeah.
Right. So
I know Colleen is watching. I just got a message from Colleen.
Can I just give me 10 seconds more? He had this whole idea of bringing me in last second, but you know. Oh.
So Bill, you asked me to play a song.
Oh yeah.
And what did I tell you? If I tell everybody, if I don't know it, I'll prove it.
Well, let's hear it.
So I'm about to prove
I did ask you to play a song, but I don't want to embarrass you by bringing it up.
We ran it like once, you know. That's enough, right?
All right, we ready?
Sure.
Oh.
Martha, my dear, though I spend my days in conversation, please remember me. Martha, my love, don't forget me. Martha, my dear, hold your head up, you silly girl. Look what you've done when you find yourself in the thick of it. Help yourself around you, silly girl. Take a good look around you. Take a good look, you're bound to see that you and me were meant to be for each other, girl. Martha, my dear, your memory's been my inspiration. Be good to me, Martha, my love. Don't forget me, Martha.
Wow. What a nice surprise.
That was for you.
Thank you, man. Thank you, my dear. You guys have a great evening, and we will see you really, really soon.
You will.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bill. Good night.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.